Canada is broken. A healthcare system in crisis, soaring cost of living, a volatile housing market, and contentious immigration policies are just a few of the ever-mounting problems that this once great nation is facing today. And to top it all off, a growing number of Canadians are seeking a better life to the south in the US. But how did Canada reach this tipping point? Welcome to Living History. As the year draws to a close, Canada faces more than just the turn of a page on the calendar. It's witnessing a seismic shift in its healthcare system. Once a symbol of post-war optimism and national pride, Canada's universal healthcare is now reeling under pressure, perhaps even beyond repair. The present-day situation paints a grim picture. 22% of Canadians lack a family doctor, nursing vacancies have hit 5.7%, and overcrowded emergency rooms are making headlines with tragic stories. This crisis, though, was not something that just happened. It is the result of years of compounding decisions and mounting challenges. Let's step back to the 1940s, where the foundation of today's healthcare dilemma was laid. A clash of federal ambition and provincial caution set the stage for a complex healthcare system. The pivotal moment came in 1962, with Saskatchewan's physicians striking against the single-payer system, setting the stage for a fee-for-service model that, while revolutionary at the time, may well have sown the seeds for today's crisis. By 1971, universal medical care wrapped its arms around all provinces, yet it was a hug that perhaps held too tight, without room for the inevitable changes the future would bring. You see, Canada's healthcare didn't evolve as smoothly as it should have. The early pushback against a single, united healthcare system meant that instead of Canada's healthcare working together smoothly, it often looks like everyone is trying to do their own thing. The result, the fee-for-service model that promised efficiency, has been struggling to provide both enough capacity and quality of patient care. That is not all, though. Add to that an aging population, a challenge foreseen by few, and you are left with a system scrambling to provide care with resources stretched thin. This is just the tip of the iceberg, though. While the healthcare crisis is pushing some Canadians to look south for solutions, the real story unravels in the economy, hinting at deeper struggles and a looming catastrophe. Canada's economy, rooted in its historic exploitation of natural resources like fur, timber, and oil, has shaped its modern challenges, including immigration and regional economic differences. This legacy, starting with the fur trade, established a resource-focused economic pattern that persists till this day. After Canada's Confederation in 1867, its trade, especially with the US, boomed, but not all regions benefited equally. Ontario and Quebec turned into manufacturing giants, while the West and the East, relying on natural resources, lagged behind. This imbalance called for financial fixes like interregional subsidies, which remain key to Canada's economy. Jump to 2023, and Canada's economic scene gets even trickier. The job market seems strong, adding 314,000 jobs from October 2022 to January 2023, but that's just part of the story. A closer look reveals possible stagnation. The job-changing rate was only 0.4% in August 2023. For younger Canadians, the situation looks tougher, with new housing starts dropping from 270,000 in late 2022 to just 235,000 in early 2023, dimming the hopes of owning a home for many. It's not that people don't want homes. The real issue is the growing gap between rich and poor. Lower-income families, despite more help from the government, are squeezed by rising living costs, eating into their savings. Meanwhile, the wealthy see their savings balloon thanks to past savings and investments. Younger families, hit by inflation and high housing prices, face a tough choice: either back out of the housing market or speed up paying off their mortgages, reducing their debt compared to their income. But this isn't the first time Canada has faced economic challenges. Rewinding to the 1970s, we see Canada grappling with inflation, triggered by global events like the oil crises following the Yom Kippur War and the Iranian Revolution. In response, the Bank of Canada's interest rates peaked at 21%, precipitating a significant economic downturn. In 2023, echoes of this era resonate, with inflation rising from a manageable 2.4% in January 2020 to a concerning 6.3% by December 2022, straining the budgets of many Canadians. The housing narrative is equally complex. Post-World War II, housing construction surged to meet the demands of veterans, immigrants, and urban migration, peaking at 229,100 units annually in the 1970s. However, the 1980s saw a downturn in housing demand, leading to a decline in construction. Fast forward to 2023, where over 90% of new housing caters to ownership, squeezing the rental market, particularly in major cities like Vancouver and Toronto. In the 1970s, the national government played a significant role in housing policy, focusing on building homes for seniors and Indigenous communities. But then the 1980s saw a devolution of housing responsibilities to provincial governments, leading to underinvestment in housing and a lack of comprehensive policy. This shift laid the groundwork for the current affordability crisis. Despite the federal government's renewed focus on housing in 2017, the long-standing issues of shortage and affordability, simmering since the 1980s, continue to pose significant challenges. And then, of course, there is the topic of immigration. Since the latter half of the 20th century, Canada has actively embraced immigration as a strategy for population growth and economic expansion. This approach was in part a response to the country's low birth rates and the need to bolster the workforce. Historically, immigrants have contributed significantly to Canada's labour market, filling gaps in various sectors, and have played a vital role in fostering innovation and cultural diversity. However, the integration of immigrants into Canadian society these days poses considerable challenges. You see, one of the primary issues is the recognition of foreign credentials and work experience. Many highly skilled immigrants find themselves in jobs that don't match their qualifications, leading to widespread underemployment. This, in effect, means you have doctors working as taxi drivers. Given the challenges in the healthcare system, this feels like a waste of valuable skills and expertise for the Canadian economy. Another critical challenge is the pressure on housing and infrastructure. The influx of immigrants, often concentrated in major urban centers like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, has exacerbated housing shortages and affordability issues. This surge in demand puts additional strain on public services and infrastructure, necessitating significant investments to accommodate this growth. And let's not overlook the challenges of social integration. While Canada prides itself on multiculturalism, the reality of weaving a diverse range of cultures into a cohesive community fabric is a complex task. It requires effective policies and a continuous effort to ensure equal access to education, healthcare, and social services for all, which is vital for the successful integration of immigrants and, by extension, the health of Canadian society. The Canadian government's immigration policies, while generally progressive, have faced criticism over the years. Policies have been under scrutiny for either being too lenient or too restrictive at different times, reflecting the complex balance between welcoming new citizens and ensuring economic and social stability. The challenge lies in crafting immigration policies that not only meet the economic needs of the country but also address social integration, infrastructure development, and the fair treatment of immigrants. But amidst these endeavors, one question lingers: has Canada been doing enough for its citizens? The increasing number of Canadians looking south for opportunities might just hold the answer to this question. Canada, though, is not the only G7 country to be fighting off such challenges. To find more about the challenges facing the United Kingdom, check out our next video linked here. See you there.